All right, guys, so we're getting some 89 put in the car right now, and then we're gonna fill it up and see how it does. It started idling a lot better once it got warm. I think it just needed to warm up a little bit, and yeah, so now it's doing better. So we'll go ahead and get it out. And stretch the legs a little bit because we're gonna put it away for a while. I have a couple upgrades I want to do. All right, so I have a couple upgrades I want to do, and we'll get to that here in a minute once we are done filling up. But yeah, let's go ahead and get to it. Lambda's right on money. All right, looking good. And the reason that we use Lambda in this car instead of air to fuel ratio like a lot of other cars do is because the car needs a correction factor when I'm fixing the mass airflow frequency tables. So it needs to know in a 1 to down to 0.8 or up to like 1.5 error ratio, which is what the Lambda reads off of. It runs perfect like that, and that kind of helps it get its like idea of what it needs to know, how much fuel to take away and add, whereas Lambda is just in another factor. You'd have to do a different equation in order to make it work. So Lambda is just a little easier than air to fuel ratio is. So let's go ahead. We're gonna get a little rip in to see how it does. I've turned off the traction control now. So traction control is off. We got some gas in the car. It's warming up. Air fuel is on point. Oil pressure is good. Boost is good. It's still a little high oil pressure, but it should only drop to like 25 max when it's warm. So I think the oil is right where I want it to be. Let's go ahead and get a little bit of a rip in, and we'll see how she does. So we'll talk about some of the upgrades I want to do, but let's get a little bit of a rip in. Pretty good. Didn't do too bad. I was all worried because this dude was just straight up trying to ride my ass. I didn't know if he was a cop or something, but it turns out he wasn't. So anyways, yeah, all's good. Yeah, all's good. Let's go ahead and we're gonna get back to the house. We're gonna talk about all the upgrade plans for this. I just want to go out for a little ride. I'm sorry it's not a lot, but like it's something. And yeah, we got some big upgrades coming for the future for this thing, and I cannot wait to see what we can do to make this car run that much better and that much more efficiently. So we'll be right back. So it's looking good, guys. Let's go ahead and we're gonna pop the hood and get outside and talk to you guys a little bit about what I want to do with this. I'm gonna I have some insulation here. Don't mind my food on the ground. I had food earlier. I had some spaghetti last night. So I'm gonna put this insulation down here, right in the snow, and get this popped. Oh my gosh, that is disgusting. So we're definitely gonna have to get this clean because that is gross. But pretty much, so the couple of upgrades that we're going to be doing on this is, first off, mass airflow sensor. And I just realized how bad of a spot this is in. It is just almost a foot from the turbo, but it's not exactly that. If I were to grab a ruler and you were to go from middle to middle following the curve, the 45-degree bend all the way around, I think it's about like almost 8 inches, but it's not. And that's pretty much a little too close because once the air gets to the turbo and you start getting on it, it becomes turbulent and it starts spinning in a circle, and then that pretty much causes the MAF to freak out and go haywire. So we don't want that. What we're going to do is we're going to pull the mass airflow sensor adapter, and we're going to put it all the way up here right by the filter. And this tubing right here is 3-inch, and that's 2.5. So we're going to get rid of that in general, and then we're going to go ahead and upgrade to 3-inch, and then that should pretty much even it out because you want the piping to be the same all the way from the turbo all the way up to the filter. So that's step one. Step two on this is we're going to get a returnless feed adapter that will, so we're going to get a returnless high pressure fuel regulator. Yeah, fuel pressure regulator. So we're going to get a high pressure fuel regulator for a returnless system. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Returnless fuel pressure regulator. Yeah. So we're going to get a returnless fuel pressure regulator that just mounts onto this line. We're going to cut this line here and there, and then we're going to pretty much adapt it. Or we're going to go over here where this fitting is, and we're going to stretch this line over. I also don't like where this line sits. It's right over the turbo, and it gets hot, and I wanted to heat wrap the turbo to try to prevent that. But we also have the hood dump here, and it's obnoxious, and I just don't want to deal with anything, any potential fire hazards in the bay. So we're probably going to end up bending this line to come back over on this side, and then it's going to probably take a 45-degree angle back into the rail. And I have a lot of buddies with setups like this, so it's not really going to be much of a problem. I see this all the time where a lot of people would think that that would cause an issue, but you got to realize fuel flow is pressurized. It is not, fuel flow is not like air. It does not need to go around a bend, and it's a lot less, it's a lot denser than a lot of other stuff, than a lot of air flow is, because you can only compress so much air into a little area in tight bends before it starts to slow down. Whereas fuel, it's just constantly pushing itself, so there's no big deal behind that. So that's going to be our first thing. We'll get the fuel pressure regulator mounted on. I think that's what's happening. We're starting to lose some boost, and anything past 5 psi, or we're starting to lose some fuel pressure, I think, because once you go past 5 psi, it just starts to lean out. I've closed the gaps. I've replaced the plugs. I've tried to tighten up all the stuff on my whole entire intake system to try to make sure that we don't have any boost leaks. Like, I think I have one little pinhole right here. That's why this tape is here. And that's really it. You can see the tape coming all the way through. So when it boosts, it pretty much is just pushing airflow to seal up this inside of that pipe. It's ghetto rigged like a motherfucker, but it's better than nothing. So we'll go ahead and we'll get this all put together. And if worst comes to worst, if getting extra fuel pressure 1-to-1 for our boost, then to putting on our mass airflow sensor closer to the filter and retuning it doesn't work, then I think we're going to have to find a different solution. And I got something in store. I'm not going to bring it up just yet because it's the last thing I want to do, but it'll be a lot of work. But hopefully this will work, and worst comes to worst, it doesn't work. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to lay some of this installation down. It's just a quick video, so I figured I'd give you guys an update. And yeah, Happy New Year's, Merry Christmas to all you guys. And you know the saying, give them the gap, don't get clapped. We'll see you later. Peace easy.